Back here on CBS Sports HQ, just 1 month to go until the next generation of NFL stars are going to make their way to Green Bay for the draft. Here's the current draft order. We have the Jags picking in the top 5 here. A lot of folks having them going the defensive route with Mason Graham. Is Travis Hunter going to go to the Patriots? We have the Giants here. A lot of QB needy teams towards the top. They did just sign Jameis Winston, although I'm not sure that is the answer for the Giants. Still in the Aaron Rodgers running, we have the Browns, and then of course the Tennessee Titans. They are on the clock with that #1 overall pick, and all of the CBS Sports mocks have this guy, Cam Ward, going #1 overall to the Tennessee Titans as their quarterback of the future. It is Cam Ward's pro day, kicking off a very busy pro week, but Cam Ward, he is going to be throwing, of course, and we're seeing that after not throwing at the Combine. Ryan Wilson, Mike Renner, and the mustache all joining us here from UM ahead of Cam's pro day. Ryan, good to see you guys. You as well, Mike. Ryan, kick us off here. What are you most excited about seeing as it pertains to Cam Ward working out, where we didn't see that with, most of the top quarterback prospects at the Combine? What are you most looking forward to seeing Cam work out at his pro day?
Well, Jacqueline, I'm most excited to see you and talk to producer Jack. And walking by literally 10 feet away is our buddy Rick Spielman. Oh, look who it is. He just went to do this shot. So that's for you, producer Jack. In terms of other excitement outside of Rick Spielman, obviously it starts with Cam Ward. There are going to be 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 guys who are going to work out today, Mike, who are going to get drafted. But Cam Ward's going to be the guy that probably goes first overall. I would be shocked at this point if he doesn't go first overall. And I can't envision a situation where he doesn't solidify his place based on his workout later today, just because it's scripted. He knows who he's throwing to, and the way he played over the course of the fall leads me to believe that this is just a formality at this point.
Yeah, and his arm talent is going to stand out in a situation like this. It truly is. These are the guys who look great at their pro day when they do those, rolling left, throw it 70 yards down the football field. He's capable of doing stuff like that. So seeing that freelance ability and just seeing how the ball spins out of his hand in person is something I'm very much looking forward to. But then there's also a bunch of guys here that haven't worked out the Combine that are, potential top 100 draft picks. Elijah Arroyo, a tight end, Xavier Restrepo, a wide receiver. So very excited to see those guys go through their workouts as well.
And Ryan, you mentioned it. You said, hey, I would be absolutely shocked if Cam Ward doesn't go #1 overall. In all of our CBS Sports mocks, he's going #1 overall to the Tennessee Titans. He's, I think, a -750 favorite out in Vegas to go #1 overall. Mike, tell us more about the fit there in Tennessee, because we saw, I don't know if we're going to call it a failure. That feels right with Will Levis and that quarterback situation. But tell us more about your thoughts on the fit of Cam Ward there in Tennessee in a winnable division and the impact that he could have right away there in Nashville.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I do think how that offense was set up last year is not necessarily the way Cam Ward plays. He's much more of a downfield passer. This was a quick, underneath, intermediate passing offense. Not a lot of explosive plays on the table even in that offense to make, whereas Cam Ward is a guy who thrives in that regard, who thrives attacking on the football field. Now, obviously, Brian Callahan's no dummy. He knows that, he's been around the block. He's seen offense at the NFL level. He was obviously tailoring that offense that he had in Cincinnati to Joe Burrow and this pass offense to Will Levis. He's going to know that Cam Ward has a different skill set. So right now they don't have the wide receivers to necessarily be a downfield passing attack offense, but there are guys on day 2 that can fill that void for them. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that, but I think they did enough along this offensive line to at least give him time as a rookie. It won't be like what Will Levis had last year. It'll at least give him enough time to operate, and I think that's the biggest thing with Cam Ward out the gate is that he can be a little freelancy. He has some Caleb Williams-esque tendencies to his game that we obviously saw really hurt Caleb when he was behind the Bears offensive line. If he has a good offensive line there for the Tennessee Titans, I don't foresee him having those same sort of struggles.
Yeah, and the first thing that comes to mind when you think about Cam is his sort of the ice water in his veins, the calmness with which he plays in the pocket, and juxtapose that with Will Levis, which I typically describe as frenetic. Yeah. And then that leads to shots of Brian Callahan on the sidelines, trying not to throw his tablet through a wall. And it feels like this is just a different type of player. And the question is, does Cam have the edge to sort of be a leader and be that quarterback? And it certainly feels like, based on what we've seen here, just 1 year at Miami. You talk to folks at Washington State, the big thing about him was his calmness as a leadership quality. He's not going to be rah-rah in your face. And you talked about the offensive line. They got Dan Moore. They continue to build that offensive line. They have 2 first-round picks on the left side from the previous 2 drafts. So they're going in the right direction. But to Mike's larger point, Jacqueline, they need to get some receivers as well to help out whoever the quarterback is. And the only thing I wonder about, Mike, and we saw this last year with Caleb, it took about 2/3 of the season for Caleb to quit playing hero ball, which is what he had to do at USC. So how long can you coach that out of how long will that take with Cam Ward or even Shedeur Sanders, who has to do a lot of that at Colorado as well.
Ryan, Mike, we certainly appreciate it joining us out in ahead of Cam Ward's Pro Day. Say hello to Rick Spielman for us again. I was loving the little cameo from Rick. More to come from these guys, of course, throughout the day as we look ahead to Cam Ward's Pro Day. And the conversation continues with Ryan Wilson. Mike Renner's on there as well, the With the First Pick podcast, CBS Sports' NFL Draft podcast. You can download, follow, and listen wherever you listen to your favorite pods.